Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick tutorial on the product and the product line so you can understand, well, one, why there's so many products, and two, how this all came about. So let's start with the chain prep formula, which is what we're calling this now. This is the original smooth lube, and it says on the label for wax drivetrains. Now, what this originally was designed for was when I was using a crock pot to wax dip my chains, it became too tedious for me to do it 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And I said, well, what can I do to reload the chain without having to take it off and can do training rides day after day without having to do this excessive bike maintenance. I was on a 5-day-a-week structured training schedule at the time, and that was becoming a little much after a 3 or 4 hour training ride to come home and work on your bike for the next day. So what I thought of was, well, what can I do to put back the wax in the spots that it's missing from this chain that was just waxed fresh in the morning, but now it's sort of gone through its life. I've done 60, 70 miles on training, uphill, 10, 15% grades. What can I do? So what I thought of was, what if I was able to reliquify that wax on the chain and redistribute it, the remaining wax from the crock pot? And this does that, and it adds some more goodies to the chain, extra lubrication particles and whatnot. And then it evaporates away, and you have basically a re-waxed chain without taking it off. That was the idea. And after several years of me using this just for myself, just in, little jars, I made small batches of this stuff for me, I realized, wow, this is really onto something. And I had already developed the SAG cards. I got a couple of them sitting out here in the sun for a while. I'd already developed these. And, I knew that there's probably a market for it. So I thought, well, why not? I'm going to do a sea otter show and see what happens. Now, from there, it was a pretty big hit right away. But it was a limited market because it was for wax chains. So from there, I thought, well, what if I could just replace the wax and get the same results as a wax dip chain? So I was working on a couple things, and that's where it went to two different directions. That's where I went, all right, this is the first version. And I simultaneously worked on a little slightly more endurance formula. And I realized, well, this one stays so clean. This one here stays so clean. I like this for my mountain bikes, but most people aren't going to lube their bike every ride, so let's give them a little extra. And so what I did is it sort of went off into a mountain bike formula this direction, and basically a gravel and road bike formula this direction. And so these worked great for about a year, and then I wanted something with higher mileage for my road bike, and that's when I came up with the formula 5311, it's called here. So you can see it started with this chain formula, and which is now, we use it for chain prep for all the products. And if you do a wax dip chain, I would suggest not to use this as you can use this if you want to redistribute your crock pot wax, but you could use this or this. This is a little more expensive than this, and they're two different price points. That's why I keep them both. I think if I ever get this product in Costco, this will probably be the one, but we'll see. We'll see where this goes. So this gave me the ability to do 100-mile training rides right here at my body weight, at my output. And I was sponsoring the Plant Power Racing Team for a couple years. And then everything, kind of changed after 2020. Everything shut down. But I continued to sponsor them up until about 2022. And those guys are only about 150 pounds, and they were going hundreds of miles on an application with this. So I knew the lighter you are, the longer this will last for you. At my body weight, about 220, I could get a 100-mile ride on a road bike with about 5,000 or 6,000 feet of climbing, no problem. Okay, and so from there, it's individual basis on what you're actually using it for. So now back to the mountain bike formula. So people were using this on their e-bikes and they were using the 5311 on their e-bikes too. And I thought, well, I need to optimize one. So that's where this eventually became called Darkmatter. And the Darkmatter has so many high torque particles in it that after a while, you really don't need to add any more of those particles. You just need to replace the wax. So that's where the Uber Clear comes in here. I've got some sticks in the way here. So, you know, basically you've got the original formula here, the original Lubenschleiden no crockpot formula is what they called it there. This bottle's been rolling around in the truck for a while. And you got the replacement, you've got the heavy duty version of it for e-bikes, for the torque an e-bike motor puts out. And you can use it on your regular bike too, but you won't need that much, and you'll want to replace the wax. That's where this comes in. And what this is basically a super heavy duty formula version of 5311. That's basically what it is. It's actually got a lot more of the certain wax in it, which makes it better for winter muddy conditions. This is for a clean environment. This is for maybe, you know, super muddy, wet, dusty, sandy, everything conditions. The only downside with this is that when it's 110 degrees out, the wax can reliquify if the bike's just sitting in the sun. So if you're moving, you're okay, but I've noticed it can sit there. You know, it's as close to a crockpot as you can get. So even a crockpot dip chain will reliquify in the sun at those temperatures, and this is close to it. This avoids a lot of that because of the way I made it. It doesn't really reliquify on the chain. Okay, so that's the options there. That's how it all came about. And then of course I've also got I've actually also got the homeowner versions, which are known as Clean Lube and Tool Lube. So these all were basically inspired from this, and basically those were inspired from these two. So these people were using these things around the house all the time, sliding doors and padlocks and car keys, ignition keys on cars, and hinges, anything that squeaks. So I made a homeowner version. I don't have that out here to show, but you can see it on the website. So they're optimized for those kinds of things. But this video is about the line for mountain bikes. Why there's what is there, 7 now? Six. There's 6 different kinds, and it just depends on what you're doing. If you're riding e-bikes, get the e-bike formula. And if you have acoustic bikes, you can use this on it, but you won't need that much, and you might want to supplement it with something like this. And if you're a road biker, these are basically for you. You know, commuter bikes you want to keep really clean. Gravel bikes, both of these are great. This is higher mileage. It's got higher torque particles for heavier riders. And this is fine for your kids and you know, more casual riders. That's why I keep it in the line, because the price point is $14.99 versus $16.99. So that does make a big difference when you're trying to sell to a buyer from stores and chains of stores. They all want to know the price point. So I've kept the line all here. If you're a mountain biker, this is pretty much all you need on this end. But I must admit, I use 5311 on all my mountain bikes. It is so good. It doesn't stay as clean as this one or this one. Okay, but for me at my weight, I like the ability to ride all day and not have to worry about it no matter what I do. I tend to burn through the dry lubes pretty quick. Some of the dry lubes I used to use when I was younger, I would burn through them in a matter of 6 or 7 miles. The chain would already start making noise with the talcum powder dust out here. This eliminates that completely. I can ride 7 hours straight on this. And all the products have been tested up to about 70 miles by me personally. I even test rode the original Lubenschleiden formula here, 67 miles XC rides, back-to-back days, and several sessions of that in different weather conditions. So this even holds up 70-mile mountain bike ride. on an XC bike in dirt for me at my weight. So, you know, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these, but if you are doing e-bikes, the Darkmatter is definitely optimized for the e-bikes. So I recommend going with the Darkmatter and picking the clear of your choice. If you want to use a wax only replacement, you can pick any one you want. So, all right, that's it. I hope you guys appreciate the products and what they bring and eliminate from your life all the cleaning. In case you don't know, you never have to strip your chain again once you've got it ready to go for their product. So the chain prep gets you there in 10 minutes, and you're ready to go. Apply any of the other products, and you'll never have to take the chain off the bike ever again. And just check the measurement every 3 or 4 months to see where you're at. Once you get to about 25% wear, some chain checkers aren't that accurate, so you're going to want to look into that. I use a Park Tool chain checker, and you know, it says new chain is 25% worn. Well, that's not really the case. The new chain is 0% worn. So they make KMC makes a digital checker. That's pretty good. You need to learn how to actually measure the chain accurately. So I haven't worn a chain out yet, just for the record. Using these products, I'm able to go 3 years on a bike, which on my trail bikes, I switch between 2 trail bikes. That comes out to over 2,000 miles per bike, closer to 3,000 miles per bike. And after 3 years, the chain is still in new condition. It's still not even close to being replaced. It's usually around 17 to 18, 19% at that point. And I change them at 25%. So but after 3 years, I just change them because of 3 years of climbing and ratcheting and, you know, lots of abuse done to the chain in other ways. So I just worry about that. So I change them every 3 years, and I never wear out my cassettes, never wear out my chain rings, and I don't have to buy degreaser. So this product actually saves you a lot of money in the long run. All right, everybody, hope that's a good brief explanation, and thank you very much. And stay subscribed, because as updates come along, I'll post some things here and there. All right, thank you very much.